Welcome back. US dollar currently falling like a manhole cover from the sky. Ripple's head of global institutional markets says we're addressing a multi-trillion-dollar market. And the Chinese digital yuan is making strides, putting even more pressure on the U.S. and the rest of the world to catch up with the fourth industrial revolution. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful intro. We got so much more to talk about today. Here we go.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here today. I want to give a shout out to everyone who has sent amazing information to me this morning. And we start with Michael Val, 5 links. The initiative will engage about 75 companies to conceptualize 17 blockchain projects within the next 3 years in sectors starting with trade, logistics, and supply chain. This is coming from Singapore's government to invest $9 million towards those efforts. Now, this is the area that we start with today because this shows the kind of pressure that's happening around the world, that they're not stopping developing the tech and bringing it to market, whether that's in the testing phase, right, or wherever they are in beta. It doesn't matter, right? They're moving forward. Here's more evidence of this right here. 20 million yuan, $3 million in China's central bank. Digital currency will be given away to 100,000 people in the country's largest test of the digital yuan to date. The digital currency will be accepted at 100,000 stores. This is what I'm talking about. Don't think for a second that the world doesn't see what's happening here. And they're not going to let, at the end of the day, and I mean the U.S. and other countries, are not going to let the Chinese yuan remain the front runner of the fourth industrial revolution. You're going to see evidence from that in just a second. We're going to look at Jeremy Allaire's comments recently from Circle, who also was on the development project of the US dollar coin, that is at Coinbase, and that was done alongside of Brian Brooks when he was the chief legal officer at Coinbase and worked together with Jeremy Allaire on that project. So very, very interesting connection there between the two and their efforts. We're going to look at some very, very straightforward comments from him in just a second that really tell us where we are in this moment of crypto. Good morning, England. All the money in your bank account is now worth 1.18% less than it was when you went to bed. That's if we measure it in US dollars, which is also dropping like a stone. That is Matty Greenspan laying it down. Matty Greenspan, don't always agree with everything he says, but he certainly makes a good point. And then I found this from Gold Telegraph here. And what is $100 worth in 1913 over time? And you look at the different time intervals and see the actual debasement or devaluing, the loss of value in the dollar. And in 2019, they're saying the same $100 bill in 2019 is worth $3.87. Wow. I like this too. This is from Brandon XRP, who posts under there a chart that shows 2011 December 31st, 209 Bitcoin equaled 1 ounce of gold. And then coming down to 2019 December 31st, 0.21 Bitcoin equal 1 ounce of gold. What will it be at the end of this year? Well, we already know that it was up over 19,000. So it's pretty interesting where we're seeing things go. And if you ever wanted a clear understanding that it is no longer a speculative asset for Bitcoin, it is a hedge. It is a hedge investment. There's no question about it, just as gold is seen. And in fact, it is outperforming gold like nobody's business. So there we go there. Now, looking at this in some Ripple news here, Ripple Giant helps wire whopping 225.2 million XRP over the past 24 hours. I want to tell everyone to calm down. It was just my account. Sending some money to a friend off a football bet. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. It'd be nice if it was, but it isn't. So we still don't know where everything went. That was including Binance as well as a part of that wiring. XRP moving around a lot of places these days. I tell you, you almost might think that they're setting up for some kind of perfect storm scenario that will benefit XRP. And I believe that they are. And Standard Chartered also says they're planning to launch a digital currency. And they're very excited about it. He mentioned that the largest opportunity for digital currencies could be in a niche segment and not in fiat-backed cryptocurrency structure. Winners gave an example of a potential digital currency project for trading in the voluntary carbon market. I thought this was extremely interesting because we know Standard Chartered is absolutely partnered with Ripple. And we know that, was it Kahina Van Dyke left Ripple to go over to Standard Chartered, and she's only a node away, as Brad Garlinghouse said. And that's pretty interesting to me because I'm very excited about what Standard Chartered is going to release here. So we will keep a closer eye on this, and it didn't give any more information other than they are absolutely bullish on the digital currency space, and it doesn't have to just be fiat backed. They're very, very bullish on that, and they've got some good news coming. We will keep an eye on that. Novarti, that's my piss poor Australian accent. I hope my Aussie friends don't get upset. But Australian payment services provider Novarti has just announced its partnership with San Francisco-based blockchain company Ripple. And that's exciting. And it sounds like to me we just had a non-disclosure agreement just burn off. And it's when the partner is ready to reveal that partnership. And it makes sense. Another payment service provider is on to the network. Bring it on, baby. Welcome to Novarti. Former Goldman Sachs hedge fund chief says he's warming up to Ripple. This is Raoul Pal, who's really taken another look at what Ripple can do. And after 157% gains from Ripple over the last couple of weeks here, I guess it is turning a few heads these days, right? Ripple's head of global institutional market says XRP addressing multi-trillion-dollar market. Recommends a barbell strategy for crypto investors. The barbell strategy meaning 50% short investment and then 50% long investment on things you want to put in your portfolio. Long being 5, 7, 10-year investment, right? So I'm not going to read this whole article to you, but Brianne Madigan, if you don't know and you are new in this space, Brianne Madigan is a spitfire. I mean, she is absolutely brilliant, and she brings it what I call East Coast style. She is a very direct, straightforward talker, and when she talks about things, and if you ever see anything by Brianne Madigan, or if you ever want to learn anything about Ripple or XRP, watch Brianne Madigan because she has a amazing level of communication to really just cut through it and give you what you need. So she lays it down here in this article and basically says, you know, there's opportunity here. People see Bitcoin as like a gold investment. XRP obviously can address a $1 trillion market, multi-trillion-dollar market, in fact. Excuse me. And she basically talks about that inflection point that we've talked about so much here, which is use case. And if the token you're invested in doesn't have one, you're probably going to lose your fanny. So make sure you understand what you hold. And when it comes to XRP, I certainly feel like I absolutely know what I hold, and I couldn't be more excited. So looking at this to back up the notion of what I hold, the number of ledgers settled on the XRP network has surpassed 60 million as per data provided by XRP Ledger Explorer, XRP Scan. Come on in, XRP Ledger. XRP standard. That's what I'm talking about. Hashtag zero doubt, people. Now let's get to it because I'm not going to read this whole entire exchange to you, but I am going to read this first comment, and then we're going to go down to the end here where he really just gets to it. Okay, Jeremy Allaire is very excited about what's to come with the space, and he's making a point here about, let me just read it. The rise of crypto has brought policy and regulatory issues to the forefront, and he's absolutely spot on, and are going to become massively important very quickly. I'm going to tell you something. This is aligning with Brian Brooks saying you're going to get the regulatory clarity in the next 6 to 8 weeks. The departing administration and the incoming forces are both eager to leave their mark. Now, let me tell you something. This is the play, and what he's pointing to here is the moment in time that the current administration and the incoming administration are wanting to put the flag on the moon of what they understand is going to be a massive turning point in history, not just over the next 4 years, in the history of value and finance and the way we move money across the world. And these political jerks are looking to put the flag on the moon and take credit for it. That's all they care about. They don't really care about how it affects you and me and betters our life or gets, the consumer protections and all of the. No. That's not where I'm at. Where I'm at is where he just said it. They're more worried about taking credit for it, right? That's what's going on here. And that, in a moment of time like this, could work out massively in all of our favor because they're looking to beat each other to the punch, right? So let's hope we just see it go down in the way we need it to go down. Now, here's what I really like here, because in the comment 13, he lays it down and he says, and in the other comments, he's really referring to back in the mid to late 90s and the analogous example of the early days of the internet and how that was seen and how there was hysterics about allowing the world to tap into the internet. And then once we did, everything got better. Right. So then he talks here in 13 in this comment, those who join crypto because we believe that it could do for the economic system what the early internet did for information and communications need to be ready because the shit is about to get real. You better believe it, Jeremy Allaire, and I love the way you laid it down, brother. And on 14, he says there's a real chance to work with the left middle and the right middle to forge a path and make open access and use crypto and blockchain a core part of America's growth strategy for the next decade and beyond, I might say. And I'll tell you something, that is where we are. And what a great overview of Jeremy Allaire laying that down, because I believe over the next 6 to 8 weeks, when Brian Brooks tells you something, he does it. Okay? He's not a politician. That's what I like about that guy. He's a regulator and he knows how to do his job. Now, coming to this is a nice throwback from Crypto Bull. I would love to see this happen for XRP, and I would too. And I do not take anything off the table. I want to remind you in this moment, this is not to be an alarmist. This is new money, ladies and gentlemen, and it ain't money unless the world agrees that it's money. And the world has clearly agreed that XRP is money if you've studied it long enough. And over the next 6 to 8 weeks, I believe it is absolutely not something we can take off the table that Ripple could reach $1,046 or beyond. Now, you might find me to be hypey, but do your own research. Vet me. Vet everything that you find. But I tell you, the longer you dig into this asset, the more you're going to come up with the conclusion that you can't take this notion off the table. Because as new money goes, if the world adopts it and synchronize and move into the network in one fell swoop after we get clarity, well, look out. I tell you, it's not something we could laugh at or scoff at. You may say, oh, no, it can't happen. But this isn't a stock. This is money. And again, if the world synchronizes, and by the world, I mean the governments and central banks do what Brad Garlinghouse said they are looking to do, which is issue CBDCs off of the XRP ledger, that would, in my mind, as Bob Way said on this channel last year when I had a conversation with him, that would be a synchronized moment as he talked about, and the market would be choppy before that would happen, he even said. And the market has been choppy. We went from 20 cents up to 30 to 50 to 60 to 72 cents, back down to 58, 54, 58 channel. And now we're looking at floating up around 60 some cents again and moving around a little bit. It may even move $1 to $10. I don't know. But what I do know is that the longer this goes on, the longer we hear the more we hear, I should say, the more we hear people like Brad Garlinghouse just admit openly in a podcast that central banks are looking to issue their stablecoin or their digital dollar, off of that ledger. Imagine the utility and the value and the access to the liquidity that would become available immediately. And again, once two banks start settling that way, it's a domino effect. They all have to settle that way, or otherwise you start losing immediately in the business side of what you could save in the efficiency and scalability and security of those transactions. 60 million transactions settled on the XRP ledger. No errors. Swift messaging system. Trillions a day, 6% error rate, and that's what they're willing to tell us. Now, let's look at current price here. Looking at current price, 61 cents, putting our feet back on the ground. That's right, 61 cents. And I'm talking about the idea of XRP having the potential before the year's over. In the next year. I don't know when they'll do it. Maybe it happens after 6 to 8 weeks of clarity, and that clarity provides the momentum for banks to do exactly what they've been planning to do for years. And they collateralize their CBDCs and bring instant value to a network. Think of it. It's not something you can take off the table. You don't have to believe it, but you can't tell me that it can't happen. Because it can. All right, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment below and hit the notification bell. And check out all the links in the description box and the comment section for anything you may want or need. They are trusted links. And I want to let you know right now, there are some scams going around. I've gotten a couple notifications. Jay Hyatt has gotten a couple where people are trying to use a scam to try to tell you if you're on Ledger, that they're trying to scam you and say something bad happened and you need to contact them. Please, please, no matter what you get, don't let that hustle knock you off your feet. And then you've given up something you shouldn't have, like your passwords or whatever, or your keys. Be very, very careful out here. That's why it's one of the reasons why I have the links in the description box. Yeah, I make money, but the reality is that I want you to have access to the same things that I want and need, that I'm pretty sure I know you're going to want and need. And then knowing that those are trusted links to click on. This market is an opportunity for scam artists. Be very, very careful out here. I will catch all of you on the next one.